Foldabots. This is the first talk in today's Philippine Readers and Writers Festival, and I'm glad all of you could make it today. Just for a brief intro, I'd like to tell everyone what Foldabots is all about, especially for those who are not familiar with the series. So Foldabots is a book series that's character-based. So my characters are all robots set in a futuristic Philippines, and the story is coming soon. But right now, we have all the characters laid out in our toy books. We have Toy Book 1, which has all the core good guys. Toy Book 2, that has all the core bad guys. So that's just a brief intro, but we'll just take you through. I'll just take you through a short slideshow about the series. So this is Toy Book 1 and some of the characters that you can build in it. Foldabots are a set of robots that are based on patterns. So you'll see certain patterns here in the book. So certain cardboard pages are here so that people can cut out paper craft toys and build them using diagrams or YouTube videos that I produced, so you can follow online. And you can build toys that can actually transform into 2 different modes. So the Foldabots are led by a Philippine eagle-based robot because it's a national animal named Buhawi. So just a short background on how I started building these. Building Foldabots was actually, it came from my love for making my own toys. These were my actual drawings back in 2nd grade, which I drew on a student's handbook in the 80s. It was in the late 80s, so you'll see how the quality of the paper is and how I used pencil. So in 2004, I was searching for a project to do because I was a host in a TV show called Art is Cool in ABC5. So it ran for 2 years, and as a main host in a small budget show, I was also tasked to think about the projects that I was going to do. So I was lucky enough to have a wealth of information from my past because I really made toys and crafts for myself as a kid. So when I found that, I said, why don't I make it into something that I can turn into something that's part of the show? So I first built these 3 cardboard robots, unnamed, out of colored folders, so I didn't have to print anything. And then I said, why not turn these robots into something that is a series? So at that time, there was a magazine called K-Zone Philippines. And it featured a lot of foreign products like games, movies, toys, and stuff like that. So I wanted to inject something Filipino in it, but I also wanted to do something that was cool and something that didn't exist at the time. And I thought of making Foldabots for it. So using my childhood creations, I made a brand that could also be collected because the nature of K-Zone as a magazine was a monthly thing. So I thought of being a kid and then having a new toy every month, and that would be nice. So the way that I did it was that I first drew an idea, like for example, what if there's a skateboard that turned into a robot? And then I cut out cardboards and sketched on it so that I could actually build them. And that's how a Foldabot is made. So when I actually build something, I play with the toy to test its playability because that's a big factor in how I'd like to say that Foldabot actually works. And then I could make more detailed things as I get along, like this robot head. So after making the toy, I do the digital art on a device. I use an iPad now. I used to use paper and pen and color it on Photoshop. And yeah, but this is how it's done now. So that's how the process is made from idea to drawing. So the nice thing about making Foldabots is that after you invent something, you get something that is tangible, something that you can hold. So after doing all that, I have to set up a little makeshift photo studio in my desk, take photos of them until the robots become an entire set or a team of robots, and some of them can actually combine into larger robots, like this guy. So this is what the YouTube videos look like when I actually assemble them, and this is like just the ending part where it's already built. So Foldabots Toy Book 1 features 8 robots in one book, but there are 9 blocks here. And that is because the center one has the combined form of Elementron, the group of robots that you can combine together. So I'm also introducing my childhood game of text. So the entire back cover can be cut out into text, which is like collectible cards that you can use for battle. So when Toy Book 2 came out, I introduced the main enemy, Lucio. The story of Foldabots is an environmental story set in a future world where like people don't care about the environment, that this gigantic, monstrous pollution incarnate called Lucio is threatening the city. So with him are hordes of vehicles that spew toxic waste, dump trucks that dump waste instead of collect them, and other fun characters like taxis with a toxic sword. So the nice thing about Foldabots is, aside from being able to connect the robots, you can also connect the covers to build a nice panoramic picture of the robots that you can collect. So I guess for those who are familiar with the series, you might be interested in what the third book's gonna look like. And I'll just show some teasers of it right now. So the theme would be a lot of aquatic characters, but also search and rescue. So we have this character which turns into an ambulance. He's called Sagip. There's a fire rescue truck called Liab, upgraded with mightier arms this time, more 3D. And one of the much-awaited characters, because I'm saying much-awaited because these characters came out like 2010 or 2013, around that time. So it's the only time now that I'm getting to remaster each one based on the current transformations. This used to be based on an old game console called a PSP. So now it's going to be a Nintendo Switch. Although it's still old, it's still Switch 1, but I like the colorway of that. So this is like a preview. So I'm showing this process because I'd like people to see that the joy of making Foldabots is in the creation itself, the trials and errors, and testing things out and how they work until I get something that looks like that. So this would be a new character named Laro, based on the old Lupet character. These are the drawings. So the game cartridges that get inserted into the game are also transformable into 2 little characters that serve as Laro's pets, named Uwak and Sipit, based on a crow and a crab. So some other updates on the characters. We have Liab, the fire truck, and the fully colored Sagip. Just a quick reveal of what's coming up later this year. I believe it will come up November 2026. Foldabots Toy Book 3's cover is this. So we have Aquaticron as our main combiner robot. It's right there in front and center, and a lot of the other rescue vehicle characters here. There. Yeah, so I guess that's the quick roundup. But the thing that I'm excited about all the time when I make the new one is that how it connects with the others. So I'm just showing how they all connect as 3 this time, because it's the first time also that I've seen this when I combined all the covers and seen how they seamlessly connect. Well, we have a strong art department that will make it seamlessly connect. So I hope that would really come out. So yeah, so for those who have questions, this is like a open forum part where you could ask questions and maybe, you know, talk about the characters of what I'm going to be doing and any other updates for the third book. Thank you very much. Yes, question po.
Sir, how do you decide which element to transform into photos?
Which element?
For example, your robots, how do you decide your book theme? How do you come up with a aquatic? Ano naisip?
Okay. Okay. The thing is that I try to make it very different from the previous one. So from the previous book of Good Guys from 1, there weren't much sea creatures in it. So I wanted to give something different so that kids can get to experience different ways of building things. Like, these are all vehicles, so I'm trying to do more animals here. And just to balance it off, there are like last 3 slots in the book that I chose to do vehicles and consoles so that it's not all animals in it. Yes, question from the back.
I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
Ano kasi, I used to buy Quezon synthesis, so I've managed to follow yung all the paths on just to explain. Sayang hindi ko malala yung names nila, but I managed to connect yung discussion vehicles, and then if I remember, the bots had like prehistoric animals,
Yes.
and then the Autobots had like dinosaurs.
Yes.
I'm wondering if the next storybooks you're planning, or you're planning on like remaking yung old themes.
Yeah, definitely I'll be getting to that, but I tried, now that I'm having like a second chance to redo the entire series, I'm trying to do things that are from simple to more complex. And because the prehistoric animals involve a lot of legs, a lot of protruding body parts, I wanted like reserve that for the later books. So I'm doing now the cars, and then, well, the sea creatures also have limbs, but they're very limited because their limbs are actually just tails and flippers. So I feel that they're easier to do than 4-legged creatures like, yeah. So these are like how the dugong will be remastered with a more 3-dimensional head. And this is how the dolphin will be, and it can actually open its mouth now. So those are just like little changes that I wanted to do, like just to improve what I did from the early 2000s. Yeah. And the next one?
And then my second question is related to the story of the bus itself. So, are you planning on like remaking the story, or will the story be like the same one from like Quezon era onwards?
Yes, definitely I will make a new comic book for it. The thing is, there's still no concrete plans on when that will happen, but I already have a story in mind on how I can like also remaster how the story was made, because the thing with the previous story was that as the characters were invented, the story was also getting added up. So now that the characters are already there, I have a chance to pre-plan how the characters will get released and what characters will come first or last. So yeah, it's more organized this time.
All the bots are paper robots, and kids nowadays, sanay sila dun sa digital games, tapos paano makakasabay, o paano nila mamahalin, o paano ma-introduce sa kanila yung world ng robots.
Yeah, so the thing about Foldabots is that it aims to be like an ally for kids that are mostly attuned to using screens. So I feel that in order to get it across the kids that it's a cool product that involves like the internet, I've included QR codes in each of the characters, so that once you start want to build something, you just scan it, and then this entire building process comes out in a YouTube channel that's totally free to watch. And then you'll also get to see a lot of other creators' videos wherein they animate the robots, and that's when you feel that there's an entire community in the internet that's doing this, and you're not alone. And yeah, it's kind of how you encourage like today's kids to create and to share how they play, because it's a nice way to like preserve how you played as a kid, because now you can take actual videos of them.
What inspired you po to name those robots with Tagalog?
Ah. Yes. In the early 2000s, when they first came out, I actually had a choice to name them in English or in Filipino. But the thing is, with the current, like the situation that I experience when going to school visits and talking to kids, is that kids at the time, especially now, are getting more attuned to speaking in English, and simple words, that even cool words, weren't already said, and then they weren't familiar. Like I named the skateboard astig. Of course, now it's an outdated term, but we used to say astig a lot in school. And then when you say that, parang it doesn't feel right. Like people would say something else in English, and then like maybe buhawi. Buhawi would be something that I would find very cool to say when I was a kid, because it feels very strong and it's a natural element. So I felt that I wanted to turn that into the main character's name. And even the simple kiddie words like tutubi, sometimes people just say dragonfly, and then when you try to introduce something, parang, 'di ba, it's not relevant. So I'm trying to make it relevant in terms of play and how they associate the robot's powers and what they transform into. Salamat. Yes.
From all your foldable stuff, which was the most difficult na design yung structurally?
Nako, mahirap to.
Mahirap na.
Oo nga eh, hindi ko nang maalala right now. Siguro, well, right now, nagkakaroon akong problema dito sa Butanding. Dito sa third book, because of all the remastering that I'm doing with the characters, these are supposed to be the legs, but now that I remastered the head to make them more 3D, there's a problem with the combination to stand up. So they used to be very flat. So when I was looking at the toys again, I felt that I didn't want to play with something that was flat, especially I really wanted the science aspect of the toys to be more accurate. Like scientifically, the dugong is very well known to have like a cow face, like a bulbous nose. So I wanted to reflect that, and then I wanted to make that very different with the bottlenose dolphin. So now that I'm combining them, now I'm faced with the problem, but it's something solvable, and it's the fun thing about doing things in 3D, because you get to work in a 3D space and then go back to the screen, which is very technical, and then print it out, find out how you can solve things, and it's gonna be solved anyway. Salamat. Yes, question.
What's your rationale for which characters to be mastered? Because it made sense in the first toy book that those were made, like it made a setup for the first combiner Elementon and the main initial crew from the first comics, and it made sense since you were trying much more to lean into the more city aspect with the Solitabots. What made you decide for Aquaticron to be the one to be the headliner for this comic set, for this toy book?
Yes, that good question. Because I'm already thinking of how the story is gonna be revamped for the new comic. So when I introduce the city scenes, I'm imagining I'm the reader, and I keep on seeing city scenes, and then I feel that I want to get out of the city. So I want to involve the Ocean Park and the Manila Bay area where the Aquabots first came out according to the old story. So I think it's just to get out of your zone, and then to experience something else, and also for drawing wise, so that I can do a lot of things that don't involve gravity, because it will be underwater.
And po yung design, in terms of actually forming the foldable po, and po yung design considerations to ensure that anyone could actually form it.
Yes. Yeah. Another good question. If you notice, all the characters are based on a rectangular prison, and I tried to make it like a repetitive process, where the first thing that you do is the main body, which is basically just a rectangular prism for everything, and you just add limbs to it to make it different. So I think that's the main factor, that even if I could make a better looking squid than this, like a more globular or a more cylindrical thing, I feel that it could deter certain newbies or first-time builders because it's a totally different thing. So all of these parts are actually made of rectangular prisms, even the arms here. So I think it's that repetitive thing, and just adding like accessories to them makes each one different. And it's something that people might not notice, but when you do a lot of the robots, then you'll get the hang of it. And then I've experienced it with small kids who send me their ideas because they suddenly get to build characters that I haven't built before because they already got the hang of it. Okay, make a rectangular prism and then add the arms, add the wheels, and then you have a totally different truck aside from the one that I made. Yeah. Yes, question.
Story-wise, how do you plan po to reach the younger generation through the books? Is it do you plan po to follow the current trend, or mag-stick po tayo dun sa original na stories ng characters?
Usually, I just don't look at trends that much. I'm basing it on my previous story, but updating it with kids' experiences nowadays. So, just for a quick spoiler on what I plan for the story is that I want the story to be a part where the kids are stuck because of a certain pandemic, which they don't know what, and that is because actually of the Lutabots. Like an unknown virus made by this green muck that's in the air, and then they have to be stuck and they have to like find their way to solve this issue, something that is fictional. Yes.
This one connects, since you mentioned that there was that Lutabots were making a little bit of a pandemic in the story. I find it interesting that the last issues from the original series had basically the Lutabots trying to mind control various people. How did you intend for that part of the story to end, because it ended on a cliffhanger?
Oh, yeah, the thing about that was that while I was making the comics, the story was also being built. So actually, it was also a cliffhanger for me because the series abruptly ended without me being ready for it to be ended. So yeah, that's something that when we get to that part, maybe in the story, that's the part when I have to start from zero and continue on whatever story would take place. Yes, question.
Well, connected to the relevance of the series, like what you said a while ago, some aspects of the series are then outdated, and to further connect with today's generation, are there going to be any new villains introduced that represent more current problems that happen?
I haven't thought of that. Yeah, because a lot of the villains already are talking about storms, which we just experienced in the past 3 weeks. Vehicles that are spewing a lot of toxicity in the air. So maybe they still subtly reflect things right now, but yeah, maybe that's a good thing that I could think about in the later issues.
Just want to ask, how do you choose which robot makes it into the toy book? And when you redesign on older bots, how do you keep them feeling like the same character?
Okay, so what the first question again? Sorry,
how do you choose which robot that makes it into the toy book?
Okay. First, to answer that, I choose from old to new. And then, based on that, I have to choose the 8 slots that are available. So usually, in the 8 slots, 5 of them are already taken up by a combiner. So I only have 3 individual bots that I need to put. And the 3 also have to have something unified with them. So with the third toy book, I have rescue vehicles, I have the ambulance and the fire truck. And because Laro should have been in toy book 1 because he's small, so he should have been part of the street crew, I have to catch up and put him in here. And then next, how do I update something? Are you Ridge? The one that made Manejo many years. Was it Manejo? Machete, yeah, the black pickup truck, right?
Blue, like,
SUV, right? Oh, yeah, I remember. Ridge was one of the winners of my online drawing contest when he was a kid. He's all grown up now. Kinda remember. Yeah. Yeah, so I do a lot of community involvement with my Foldabot builders, and I really encourage people to build things. So aligned with that question is that I just look at it, and as long as it can fit, because the page now is more squarish, so I get to have like a longer real estate on this side, but it's shorter on this side. So as long as I can fit it in the page, I try to make little improvements as much as possible, but I try not to change anything too much, because being a Transformers fan, as maybe you have already figured out, I don't really like how people change what they looked like in Generation 1 in 1984 and then now in 2026. Like, I still like things to be recognizable in a certain way, and then I kind of feel that for the first generation collectors, the builders, and I want them to still be like the same characters they grew up with.
Going back dun sa process ng pagpili ng mga names. Yung bago nyo po, si Laro, is previously named Lupet. Why did you choose to change from Lupet to Laro?
Yes, because it's also because of updating with the times. Kasi just like astig was a slang used in the late 2000s. Around late 90s, early 2000s. Lupet was kind of something that people would say that if something was cool, you say lupet aside from astig. But lupet also has a synonym, which is lupit, which was mean. So I feel that in today's kids, where number one, it's not being said anymore. Number two, it has a real meaning. It might come across as something that is confusing. So Laro would be a more apt thing, because it's also short. It also starts with L, and tawag doon, it's like when a small kid asks, pwede ba akong maglaro? So it's very relatable. So it's very relatable and real for today's times. Ay, salamat. Elmo pala is the vlogger from Elmo's Universe. So he produces really high quality videos. And I think you're the one who built each and every Foldabot during the pandemic. You built 100. He made 100 videos.
I made a total of 150 plus videos.
Okay, so that's like a repository for everything that I made, and the video quality is superb. Check out his stuff.
Nasa YouTube. Elmo's Universe.
Elmo's Universe. Yes. Yes.
in regards to your statement of renaming Lupet to Laro, it's very funny to me, because that actually, you're even like there might be a confusion with the homonyms. That happened with me and my mom, because I was asking what Lupet meant, and my mom kept saying cruel.
Yun. Yeah. So that's another thing, yeah. Because before it was just always being said on TV. When you watch local TV, Lupet, ganyan, ganyan, because they're describing a show that's very cool, or maybe in billboards, malupet, ganyan, pagka. But yeah, we have to attune ourselves with the times. Salamat sa pagsuot ng Lutabot shirt. Thank you for coming. Yeah. So, may shirts tayo na Team Foldabot, may Team Lutabot, yung bad guys. Hindi ko sinasabing bad ka. Salamat.
Will there be a third t-shirt design?
Wala pa naman in the making. Parang happy pa naman ako, and I'm focusing on making the toy books. We just have the two allegiances, and yeah.
What was the rationale behind the gender swapping of Alvin and Abos, as well as Banggaling Bungol?
Yeah, I just wanted to make the books have female representation for the characters, and if I could switch things out and it doesn't matter with the character, it doesn't affect the design, then I would. So I did that with the twins, because there's two anyway. And yeah, for this one, Just a spoiler alert. I hope nobody gets any violent reactions. He'll be named Galamay just because all the other members were Filipino names. Berdugong came from Dugong, Alona came from Alon, Butandron came from Butanding. And then suddenly Tentaclone didn't have like a Filipino word in it. It was tentacle and clone. So I'll be naming him Galamay. He'll just be one. He'll be a scientist who does cloning, and he clones himself into tentaclones. So his tentaclones will be the clones. So you'll still be getting the two toys, but there'll be slight differences because he doesn't want to clone himself exactly for fear that they might take over. So he's kind of a crazy inventor. So he gets the suckers, these things, and then all the clones have the identical tentacles so that you know which one is the clone. Yeah.
So are the other clones just as sapient as the original?
Maybe. Maybe. Yes, question.
You've used the Red Cross symbol of some of the characters. Has there ever been a concern of maybe running into rights issues with the Red Cross organization? Because I know some other robot toy lines have been in trouble for that.
Oh, I didn't know anything about that actually, honestly. So I just thought ambulance, you put a Red Cross on it. So maybe we could look into that, and thank you for that information, because as long as the toy book hasn't been published yet, it can still be removed. It's a simple removal. Yeah. We could always just leave the label as Foldabots Rescue or Neo Republica Rescue Vehicle. Yes?
Okay, in connection to that statement, an example is when, for example, Transformers example, Ratchet had, when he was put into the Transformers Hall of Fame, they had to, it's not, the Red Cross symbol itself is the issue, so they reversed the color, so instead he had a white cross with red shoulders when he was offered his art.
Okay. Thank you.
This is a reference to
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah. Okay, we'll see. But definitely, I'm not gonna turn it into like that because it will be like Ratchet.
Where's Kalasag?
Oh yes, Kalasag was supposed to be in this book because of the aquatic characters. But the thing is, when I reviewed my entire lineup again, I felt that okay, aquatic characters all combined, and then this one you're not included. So I felt that I didn't want him to be like the odd one out. So I'd rather put him in the other toy book that would involve the dinosaurs, because if you remember the story, he was the one who brought the Agimats back in time because his shell could contain the souls. the Agimats to make the dinosaurs come to life again. So yes, Ridge.
Is there a possibility that you may introduce a new Foldabot or Lutabot outside of the Foldabots we know so far in future toy books?
Yes, but I just plan to consume the 100 characters first. So I'll be thinking about that in a while. Yeah.
I know this probably wasn't that total, but in the comics, it displayed that the human souls of either the Lutabots or the Foldabots were able to combine with living animals. What happens to the minds of those living animals when the human soul merges with them?
Oh, yeah, that's what we didn't think about. My scriptwriter and I were just thinking about, oh, let's make animal robots. So, yeah. I think the thing there was that they were still made of like scrap parts from the junk shop. So they just copied the animals. I think that's how...
That's how Bakis was.
Yes.
Not the Goobabots, the Sorobots.
Yeah, in the zoo. Yeah. That's what we didn't think about. So maybe that's something that we could update as well. Yes,
I
question.
have a question para kay Bongo.
Apa.
Si Bongo and Bangka, are there still ano ba? Ano pa rin ba sila? Gawa pa rin ba sila sa parang bangkay ni Ramada? Or are they alam sa bago ng backstory?
Yun na nga eh. Hindi ko pa siya naisip sa part na yun. Pero the thing is, nung inisip ko yun, nung early 2000s, dahil tama raw FX yung pinanggalingan niya, di ba? Tapos, ako yung experience ko kasi nung bata, mayroong mga jeep, walang tama raw FX. Tapos biglang dumating yung tama raw FX. So, na-feel ko na replacement siya nung jeep. So, kaya yun yung naging story na the end of the jeep and into this new air-conditioned vehicle. So I think that was just like a fun thing that I did at the time. So I think when we do it again, maybe I'll think about it and see. Thanks, naalala mo pa yun. Kalimutan ko na. Yes.
Regarding Riles, because in the original batch, Riles was basically part of the line that led to a bunch of brainwashed foldables. In here, it mentioned in Toy Book 2 that Riles was also still brainwashed, but in his description, it was written more like it was like he basically ate more of Lucio's propaganda, but then Lucio put the helmet on. How does that? Do you still intend to make it similar where he basically lost his will, or it was more like Sulatron in the comics, where Sulatron's greed and envy took over?
Oh, that part is too detailed to figure out right now. But the thing is that Riles was supposed to be like a city helper, being an electric train, and the fact that he's bad, I just wanted to put a reason why that would be an evil robot, and it's not even spewing smoke. So he's just under mind control. Yeah. Yes.
When you feature characters where parts of the design were submitted by fans back in the day, will the original kids be credited at some point in the books?
Yes. Yes, because it's still essentially their design, even the colors and the color scheme, and maybe certain things will just be changed in terms of the amount of colors, just to make it look more cohesive. Because before, when somebody submitted something, I just had a few days to convert the kid drawing into something that would be published. So now that there's more time to think about things, they'll still be credited in the little credit portion in the toy itself.
Since Toy Book 1 features Foldabots, Toy Book 2 Lutabots, Toy Book 3 Foldabots again, can we expect Lutabots again in the Toy Book 4?
Yes, ideally it will be alternating.
Follow-up question to that. I noticed that in Toy Book 3, the 4 non-combiners are mostly consisting of like service vehicles. You have the police car, you have the ambulance, and then the fire truck. And then medyo random si Laro. Can we expect like a toy book that features mostly like the transportation foldabots or transportation vehicle like Pasada, Metrotren, all of like the commute themed foldabots in the future in one like toy book?
Yeah, maybe we'll see, because I first put a combiner in it and then just select three or four based on whatever's left. So I just have to make a run through of what I have and then see what I'm gonna come out with. Actually, there's no lineup yet for the 4th book. I've just been thinking about the 3rd. Yeah.
Speaking of the 4th toy book, so I noticed the pattern was first is the Foldabot, and the 2nd book is the Lootabot, and the 3rd book is Foldabots again. So are we expecting that the 4th book will be featuring full of Lootabots?
Yes, Lutabots.
Is there a possibility that you can introduce, that you'll be introducing more than 8 characters in future toy books?
Oh, because of the real estate of the book and the book signature, that means like the amount of cardboards we can put in it and the amount of papers, it's always 8. Yes.
During yung Quezon era ng Foldabots, were there any struggles during that time? In terms of like, meron bang storyline na ni-reject yung Quezon, or meron bang isang character na pinili kayo na parang hindi na yata ng Quezon? Were there any moments like that?
I think it's just the naming convention, because when one of the kid entries from the contests used a very recent storm name, I think Sendong or something, there was just an issue on, what do you call that? Like, you can't use something that maraming nasalanta because of the storm, and then you're naming a robot a plaything based on the name of the storm. So I think that's the only thing that was kind of rejected, and I had to change it.
Since nagre-publish na po kayo ng Foldabots books, bound to be played na rin po ito ng mga mas batang fans and builders. So, aside po dun sa original Kazon designs, ma-re-redesign nyo rin po ba yung mga lumang promotional foldables?
Well, yung mga maliliit na yun, hindi ko pa napaplan ulit. Yun. So, hoping na magkaroon ulit ng ganong type of kasi gawa sila para maging simple at saka maliit. So, hoping na magkaroon ulit ng partnerships with those mga consumer brands para makakita rin ng mga tao from groceries, aside from sa bookstores, na merong foldables na pala pwedeng mabuild. So, doon naging helpful kasi yung mga partnership na yun before. Yes?
Are there any plans to bring back the masterpiece then?
Ayun ang hindi ko alam kung paano mag-refit kasi sa 8 pages natin na cardboard this time, unlike before, 12 yata or basta madami dati, 15 or parang magiging masterpiece book na lang siya tapos wala ka ng ibang mabibuild. So, that one I really don't know. Yun. Kasi dati, nag-create lang ako noon kasi tumatanda na kayo noon. Yun yung problema eh. Kasi na-notice ko, marami pa rin nagbi-build. Kailangan kong hirapan para hindi naman kayo mawala. Kasi sabi, pang baby na lang to, alis na ako dito. So, kailangan kong hirapan. So, ngayon nagsa-start tayo ulit. Gusto ko ulit yung small kids ulit yung mag-start. Tapos siguro, sa pagtagal, yun. Kung magkaroon tayo ng thicker book siguro. Yes?
Can there be more than two toy books we publish per year?
Yeah, that's the goal. So, this year, sorry to say that there'll be just one. And then, kasi end of the year na, next year, mag-resume na tayo dun sa two in a year.
Can you get a hint for 4?
Sorry?
Can you get a hint for...
Actually, yung pag-iisip ko dito, dahil Aquaticron, kailangan kong maalala kung sino yung kalaban ni Aquaticron. Sino ba yun? Si Lucio lang. Yun yung... okay. Yun. Kaya yata ako nahihirapan. Maybe Troso. Yun. Yung may Trosotron na group. Yung Forest. Yeah. Kasi we're doing Ocean and then we're doing Forest. So baka... Trosobots. Yeah.
In regards to since mga hayop yung nanganak dito, would it be possible to give the Zoobots a spotlight? They never got the chance to appear.
Yeah, oo nga. Pero siguro later on din sila. Kasi... Yes, kasi all animaled out na tayo dito sa Toy Book 3. Siguro balik vehicles tayo para palaging iba-iba. Yes, I guess last question, Elmo?
Hindi siya question, pero parang suggestion ko lang na idea. Since parang wala kalaban si Aquaticron dun sa comics dati, one thing you can consider is the Magmabots. Pero kasi dun sa comics dati, ang kalaban ng Magmabots ay yung Sorobots originally. Pero since the Aquatibots are mostly like water-based animals and the robots, the Magmabots could be like a good...
Okay, sige, good suggestion. Tingnan natin kung matutuloy yun, ganon. Yeah, thank you. Salamat, Elmo. So, salamat sa lahat ng nag-attend. Sana na-address ko yung questions as well as yung mga chance for a spoiler ng parating na book. So, pwede nyo naman kunan ng pictures yung mga toys dito. Kung gusto nyo, pwede nyo rin hawakan pagkatapos ng event. So, maraming salamat sa lahat ng pumunta today.